The seat dispute that shocked a flight. The first-class cabin of Flight 227 was a picture of calm until a piercing voice shattered the silence. "Get out of my way. That window seat is mine," shouted Linda Harris, her designer coffee cup clutched tightly as she glared at Susan Mitchell, a visibly pregnant woman standing in the aisle. Without warning, Linda's arm jerked, and hot coffee splashed across Susan's dress, soaking her 7-month pregnant belly. The cabin fell silent, passengers frozen, as Linda smirked and sank triumphantly into seat 3A. Susan, wiping coffee from her dress, looked up with a calm smile and said, "My place? I own this airline." The words hung in the air, and the cabin lights seemed to flicker as Linda's smug expression morphed into confusion, then dread. 2 hours earlier, at JFK Airport, Susan Mitchell, 35, adjusted her baseball cap and oversized sweater, blending seamlessly into the crowd of travelers. No one would guess she was the CEO and majority shareholder of Horizon Air, a thriving regional airline. She was traveling to Los Angeles to visit her hospitalized mother, her first time flying as a regular passenger in years. Her husband, James, a software engineer, stood by her side, his hand gently on her back. "You sure about this?" he asked, concern in his voice. Susan nodded, her eyes fixed on the departure board. "Mom's stable now, but I need to see her. Besides, it'll be fun to fly incognito for once." In the first-class lounge, Linda Harris, a sharply dressed woman in her early 50s, was already making waves. Her voice carried as she berated a young barista over her latte's temperature. "Do you not understand extra hot?" she snapped, her designer handbag swinging like a badge of authority. "I'm a Platinum Elite member, and this is unacceptable." Susan and James settled into a quiet corner, avoiding the scene. Susan checked her phone, shielding emails marked urgent from prying eyes. "The new routes to Denver are profitable," she whispered to James. He marveled at her ability to manage a multi-million-dollar company while 7 months pregnant, all while appearing effortlessly ordinary. Linda's tirade continued at the gate, where she demanded to know why boarding hadn't started. "I reserved seat 3A for my motion sickness," she declared, slapping her boarding pass on the counter. "I'm a corporate lawyer with connections at Horizon Air." The gate agent, a seasoned woman named Carol, calmly assured her boarding would begin soon. Susan, overhearing, muttered to James, "She sounds delightful." James chuckled, but a knot formed in his stomach when Linda mentioned seat 3A, Susan's assigned seat. As boarding began, Linda pushed past others to be first in line, proclaiming her elite status. Susan and James followed quietly, Susan keeping her head down. The gate agent's eyes flickered with recognition at Susan's name, but said nothing, earning a subtle nod of thanks. On board, Susan scanned the pristine cabin, a testament to her leadership at Horizon Air. Linda had already claimed 3A, her belongings sprawled across multiple seats. Trouble was brewing. When Susan politely showed her boarding pass for 3A, Linda's face reddened. "There's a mistake," she snapped. "I need this seat for my motion sickness." "You don't need it as much as I do, pregnant or not." Susan, calm but firm, suggested Linda check her ticket or ask the flight attendant for help. Linda stood, looming over Susan. "I've flown first class for 20 years and spend more than you'll ever earn. Pregnant women always try to scam upgrades." James's jaw clenched, but Susan's hand on his arm kept him quiet. Flight attendant Emily, a professional in her 30s, intervened. After checking both boarding passes, she confirmed Susan's claim to 3A and directed Linda to 4A, another window seat. Linda's eyes narrowed. "We'll see about that," she hissed, promising to leverage her connections to teach Susan a lesson. 20 minutes after takeoff, Linda returned from the galley with a fresh coffee, her demeanor smug. "I just spoke to senior management," she announced loudly, leaning toward Susan. "You'll regret crossing me." The situation escalated when Linda, accidentally, spilled her coffee on Susan, soaking her dress. Susan gasped, hands protecting her belly, as Linda feigned surprise. "What a clumsy mistake," she said, her eyes gleaming with satisfaction. Head flight attendant Margaret, with 20 years of experience, intervened, helping Susan clean up while firmly ordering Linda to her seat. Linda scoffed, waving her phone. "I have Margaret Thompson, wife of Horizon's VP, on speed dial. Your job is toast. Susan's discomfort grew, and James noticed her wincing, hand on her abdomen. Panic surged through him. Are you okay? He whispered. Susan admitted to cramping, likely stress-induced. Margaret, sensing the urgency, called for medical assistance. Dr. Laura Bennett, a passenger and family physician, examined Susan, noting elevated blood pressure and mild cramping. The baby's heartbeat is strong, but stress is a concern, she said, glaring at Linda, who was loudly complaining on her phone about Susan's entitlement. Linda's behavior grew more erratic. She called her lawyer, Richard, fabricating a story about Susan and James attacking her. I want them to lose everything, she declared, oblivious to passenger Michael Carter recording her. His video, uploaded mid-flight, went viral, amassing 10,000 views in minutes. Passengers like Janet and Robert Wilson, a retired couple, shared it, appalled by Linda's cruelty toward a pregnant woman. As turbulence hit, Susan cried out in pain, the stress and jostling worsening her condition. Linda laughed coldly. Karma for stealing my seat. James's blood boiled, but Susan whispered, don't give her the satisfaction. Dr. Bennett returned, documenting the stress-related symptoms and recommending crew action. Susan, her resolve hardening, called her assistant, Rachel. Pull everything on Linda Harris, complaints, lawsuits, anything. Then, to her legal team, prepare passenger harassment protocols. We may need security at LAX. The cabin screen lit up with Linda's history, 14 fraudulent complaints, $40,000 in demanded compensation, and a Department of Transportation flag for harassment. Passengers gasped as Susan stood, her voice steady. Ms. Harris, I'm Susan Mitchell, CEO and majority shareholder of Horizon Air. I own 51% of this airline. The cabin fell silent. Linda stammered, impossible. You're just a nobody. Susan displayed her executive credentials, undeniable proof of her authority. The captain announced an emergency landing in Denver, where federal officers awaited Linda. She was escorted off in handcuffs, charged with assault, harassment, and interfering with flight operations. Passengers cheered as Susan and James were taken to the airport's medical facility. Dr. Patricia Evans confirmed Susan and her baby were fine, with no lasting effects. Within 48 hours, Linda faced criminal charges and a California bar investigation, leading to her law license suspension. The viral video hit 50 million views, sparking national debates about entitlement and airline conduct. Susan launched the Horizon Family Travel Initiative, enhancing support for pregnant passengers. Michael's advocacy raised passenger rights awareness, and Dr. Bennett's research led to new airline protocols. Retired Colonel Frank Thompson pushed for stricter air rage penalties, influencing federal legislation. 6 months later, Susan gave birth to a healthy daughter, Emily Grace Mitchell. The passengers of Flight 227 formed a supportive online community, celebrating kindness and accountability. Linda's career and reputation lay in ruins, a stark lesson in the consequences of unchecked entitlement. This story isn't just about one flight. It's about standing up to bullies and valuing respect over status. Have you ever faced someone like Linda Harris? Share your thoughts in the comments. Should entitled behavior face harsher consequences? How can we promote kindness in public spaces? Your voice matters. Let's spark a conversation about justice and compassion.